Well, hi everybody, we're back, and today we're going to make something really good. It's actually going to take us a couple days to do this. So, what we're going to be doing is I got some nice deals on some brisket. So I got some nice beef brisket, and we're going to make this one in the house. So we're going to make this indoors. We're not going to barbecue it this time. I'm going to go by some of the older recipes I've seen from like the East Coast, like Jewish families making some of this. It's some really, really good stuff. So anyway, that's what we're going to be doing today. So with that, I'm going to be turning the camera down to our bowl. And the first thing we're going to do, well, before I get to that, first thing we're going to do is we're going to mix all our dry ingredients. We're going to rub our brisket. We're going to cover it. We're going to put it in the refrigerator and let it refrigerate overnight. That's going to allow everything to kind of meld into there and start creating some flavors. When we pick up this video again tomorrow, we'll do the first part of the cooking process. So we're going to cook it, and then we're also going to refrigerate it again overnight. We're going to be skimming some fat. This is going to be such a luscious gravy that's going with this. This is going to be good. This is going to be really good. So stay tuned with us. Okay, we're putting down our bowl, and I'm using a fairly good sized Tupperware bowl to mix all my dry ingredients with. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be adding 1/3 cup of white sugar. Now you can use, and mine is kind of like crumbly here, or not crumbly, made like chunks in it. If anybody has any good ideas to keep that from happening in their sugar, I'd really appreciate it, because it kind of like drives me a little bit crazy, because I actually got a good deal on sugar quite a few years ago, and I bought, I think, too much of it. Anyway, I've had it for quite a while, and I've kept it sealed. I mean, it hasn't been anywhere it shouldn't be. But I've noticed it's a little chunky. So, not digging on that too much. So, there we go. We've got our sugar added. Now, we're going to be adding 2 tablespoons of kosher salt. So, I'll get my measurer out here. And 1 and 2 of my kosher salt. Remember, this is going to be our dry rub. We're going to be putting this on top. So we're also going to want a tablespoon of cayenne pepper. Or correction, let me change that. That is a teaspoon. Ooh, don't put it in a tablespoon. That would have been a big mistake. So that would have been a little bit too much. So a tablespoon of that. And we're going to do a teaspoon of garlic. So we get granulated garlic. Don't buy the garlic powder. It clumps up. It doesn't work as well. This granulated garlic is a better product, so that's why I've been buying it. So anyway, stick with that. We're going to do a teaspoon of smoked paprika. If I can get it to come out nicely. There we go. And we're also going to do a teaspoon of black pepper, and I'm going to take the top off. That'll make it a little bit easier to get to. It's a little bit open, but not much. Okay, and we're also going to use a teaspoon of cinnamon. Now make sure you get good cinnamon. This is they make a couple different kinds at the stores, and one of them is not a good cinnamon. But this stuff here I've been using, it's a ground Saigon cinnamon, and I think it's an actual real cinnamon. Some of that stuff that you're getting in the stores nowadays is not real. So keep in mind that they're making it with some other stuff too. And then we're going to also add a teaspoon of unsweetened, remember, unsweetened cocoa powder. And the last thing we're going to add to this, there's my coriander. Oh, I spilt a little bit. Some ground coriander seed. Okay. So that's all my dry ingredients. We're going to be mixing this up. We're then going to be getting our brisket out. We're going to rub it. We're going to seal it up with some tin foil. We're going to let it sit overnight. And then tomorrow we'll be putting it up on the oven and start cooking it. So stick with us. We'll see you tomorrow. Well, actually, I'm going to mix this. I'm going to wipe the meat first so you'll be able to see that. Then we'll see you. So be back shortly. Okay, we're back. And we're getting ready to take our brisket, which we've got here. And just so you know, this is a 7-pound brisket. I'd gotten a pretty good deal on it, so I couldn't resist the price. And this will feed quite a few people, and we'll probably have leftovers for some friends too. So and I'm going to have friends over for dinner. So that'll all work out. So there's our nice brisket. We're going to lay it right in here. We're going to start getting this spice rub right on that. So kind of work it right into the meat. Oh, this is just really, really nice. Now, one of the things I should mention, and I'd already looked at this brisket in the package, but you want to make sure that you don't have over a 1/4 inch of fat on the meat. You want to have a layer about 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch. 1/4 of an inch is good, right around there. Anything more than that is a little bit too much. And it's just going to be more fat you got to skim off the next day when you go to do this. So we've got that all pretty well mixed. I'm going to set this off to the side just a little bit. And I got my roasting pan. So I lined it with tin foil. So I put a heavy duty tin foil in there. I'm going to lay my brisket down inside here. Oh, doesn't that just look wonderful? So we're going to let this rest. This is going to get sealed up. I'm going to fold it over. We're going to put another piece of tin foil on top of this. We're going to put this in the refrigerator overnight. Tomorrow it's going to go into the oven and start the first process of cooking. So stick with us and we'll be back. Well, hi everybody, we're back and we're continuing on with Sparks brisket. So today what we're going to be doing, because we've had it in the refrigerator overnight, and this is what it looks like. That's what we got going right now. That is going to get seared in this. So we're going to sear all sides of this. We're going to then put it back into the roasting pan. So we'll be back into our roasting pan. And then we're going to be adding some onions, some carrots that I have yet to peel, and I still have to cut up the onions. So I'll show you a short part of that, but I mean, everybody knows how to peel and slice up onions and so forth. So I'm not going to waste a lot of time on that. We are going to add a can of Dr. Pepper, some onion soup also, some diced tomatoes with chilies. We're going to add that little zip to it there, and some tomato soup and some ketchup. So stick with us. This is going to be a good meal. When we come back, I'll have everything kind of sliced up, ready to go. We'll sear our meat. I'll show you a little bit of that, not a lot. We'll throw it in the oven, and then again, when we're going to cook it for tonight, I'll pull it out, show you what it looks like. We're going to let it rest overnight, so everything goes back into it, and then we're going to be able to slice it up when it's nice and cold. So we're going to skim the fat at that point. We're going to slice it up, put it back in the oven with some potatoes. Oh, this is going to be delicious. Great meal for tomorrow. So stay tuned. Okay, we're back, folks. And what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be cutting up our onions. So we've got our onions here, and I'm also going to be doing our carrots. Something I wanted to show you is something you might want to pick up as a mandolin. Now, I'm going to actually use it for both the onions and the carrots. It's just a nice little fast thing to use. But here's the nice thing about these things. They have an adjustment here, and I want 1/4 inch. I had it set about 1/8 inch, and so now I'm going to do it about 1/4 inch. Okay, so you set this up like so. I usually point mine the other direction because it's just the way I'm handed. I use right or left-handed, but this seems to work better for me. So you just go right along, and we're going to be doing that and cutting these up. Now the nice thing about this, they all cut up at the bottom, and there we go, nice little slices, and we got 1/4 inch. So I'll come back when I have this all sliced up and ready to go, but I've got a few carrots here to do, and we'll be right back. And like I say, these go really quick. I've already cut up a couple of them. I'm doing 2 pounds of carrots total. Be really careful when you get down towards the end of your carrots, because these mandolins are extremely sharp. If you slide your finger across there, I guarantee you're going to cut it. Now, I have cut mine before. It's not pleasant, and it's usually my thumb that I've caught. But I get down towards the end, and that's what I do. I just throw that away. We're not going to worry about that little piece. So, almost done. Be right back. Okay, side note, I decided not to use the mandolin for doing my onions, because I'm just slicing them up like this. It's pretty quick just doing it with my hands. So I decided just to use a knife. It's easier than even setting up the mandolin to do this. And right that quick. So we'll be back in just a moment. Okay, we're back. And we've got our pan heating up. We got our skillet, cast iron skillet. We've got it right about to the smoke point though. So you see where we got a little bit of wisp of smoke coming off? That's right where we want this. So at this point, we're going to take our brisket. Oh, hear that sizzle. So we're going to let this sear. We're going to sear it on this side. We're going to flip it over and sear it on the other side and try to get the ends pretty good seared too. We're then going to return it to the roaster. So, like I said, we're going to let this go. This is going to sear for about, we're going to call it 3 minutes. So I'm going to set my timer. And I hit 333. That's just an easy hit for me. So, I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, folks, our timer's going off, so we've did our sear. So we're going to turn our timer off real quick. But I do have my fan going, so I'm sorry about that. It's a little bit noisy in here. But there we go. That's what I'm talking about with a nice sear. So we're going to set our timer again. 333. Excuse me. And we're going to let that run. So we'll be back in a little while. Okay, I've removed the meat and we put it inside a roasting pan. We're now going to caramelize our onions. So we're going to get these going and caramelize them up. Then we're going to add our carrots and soften them up. And I'm going to be adding all the rest of our ingredients to this. Or not all of them, because we're going to save the potatoes for when we actually are going to be cooking this up tomorrow for tomorrow's meal. So we're going to kind of like pre-cook it today. We're going to refrigerate it overnight so we can slice it up nice because it'll firm up then. And then we're going to be reheating it, and we're going to be adding the potatoes at that point. But we're going to be adding all these onions, and I did 4 large sweet onions. So as we get to the rest, I'll show you what we're putting for the other ingredients, and as always, I will have the recipe down in the comments section. So thank you for keep watching, and we'll be back in a little while. As you can see, the onions are caramelizing really quite nicely. So we're going to get these down just a little bit more, and then we're going to add our carrots, which we've cut into 1/4-inch rounds. We're going to soften those up. We're going to do those for probably about 5 or 6 minutes, soften them up. These are going to go for about a total of 15 minutes. They've been in for about, roughly 7-8 minutes now, so we're about halfway through. And then we'll be adding the carrots in, so we'll be back shortly. Okay, folks, we're back, and we've got our onions nice and softened up. We're going to add our carrots. We're going to start mixing these in and soften them all up. And then we're going to be adding the rest of our ingredients for this portion of the meal. And that's going to be, we're going to be adding some crushed tomatoes with chilies to add a little zip to it. Some tomato soup, some ketchup, Dr. Pepper, and we're going to also add in a packet of onion mix. So, onion soup mix. So, we'll be back shortly. Okay, we're going to start adding stuff, folks. And we're going to add in our crushed tomatoes with chilies. We've got our tomato soup. We've got our onion soup mix. 1/4 cup of ketchup. And our Dr. Pepper. Now we're going to bring this up to a light boil and simmer it. And we're going to let this simmer for about 15 minutes or so once we get it to a nice simmer. And then we're going to add this over our meat in our roaster and put that in the oven. And that's going to cook for 2.5 hours at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm not using the convection on this because I've got it inside a roaster. And what we're going to be doing is we're braising this. So this meat is going to be braised. The juices will keep flowing up to the lid and condensing and coming back down. And just self-base it and just makes it just wonderful, wonderful. So when you come back, I'll be putting this inside the roasting pan and we'll be putting that in the oven. Okay, we're back and we've got our roasting pan with our brisket inside of it. We've got our mixture here, and all I'm going to be doing is spooning this mixture up over top, and we're going to fill this over top. Now, something I wanted to mention to you, you want to go the liquid to go about halfway up around this. If there's not enough liquid, what I do is I add some more beef stock. Adds more richness to the flavor, and it's not necessarily has to be in there, but if you need more liquid, that is the best way, and you can boost the flavor just a little bit too. So with this, we're going to finish putting this on there. I'm going to put this in the oven. It's going to cook for 2.5 hours. We're going to take it out. It's going to sit in the refrigerator overnight, and then we're going to slice it up, reheat it with some potatoes, and we'll have a nice meal for tomorrow night. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned, and we'll see you again on tomorrow. Okay, folks, just a quick look at what it looks like now. It's getting ready to have the lid put on it, and we're going to put it in the oven. And I did not need to add any of the beef stock at this time, so stay tuned. Hey, folks, I want to give you a quick look. Just pulled this out of the oven. Oh, wow. Look at that. That is just amazing. So, put the lid back on there. We're going to let this cool off. I already turned the oven off. And we're then going to put it in the refrigerator overnight. Take it out, and we're going to slice it, reheat it up, add some potatoes, make a delicious gravy with this. This is going to be great. All right, we'll see you tomorrow when it's done. Hi, everybody, we're back. And I just wanted to show you, I'm going to be grabbing some potatoes. I'm going to be peeling the potatoes, and then I'm going to be adding them to our pot. And before we do that, this is what it looks like. Remember I told you we're going to put this in the refrigerator? We'll see it on the top. We're going to skim that fat off. That is not something we want. We're going to then take the meat, take the carrots off of it, slice it. We're going to put it back inside here with those potatoes. Cook it for another hour. And this is going to be a delicious meal. Wow, I cannot wait. So, stick with us. Stay tuned. When I come back, I'll have some of this done. And if you want to look, I'll show you a couple little snippets here and there. So, here's a little snippet of beef, peeling potato. Okay, we'll be back. Okay, and here we go with a little snippet of taking this fat off. Now, see, that's that little fat. It'll congeal on the top. So that's why it was important to put this in overnight. It also helps us firm this up. So this will firm up, so now I can slice it. Otherwise, if I go to slice it, what will happen is it'll turn into like shredded beef. It'll be like pulled beef. And that's not what we're going for with this. So, when I come back, I'm going to have this all scraped off. I'm going to slide the carrots back into the juice. I'm going to remove the brisket, and I'm going to start slicing it up. I'm going to add the potatoes in here with the brisket and rewarm everything. Oh, it's going to be delicious. Wow, cannot wait. Okay, well, I've taken this out, and I did a slice cut because I couldn't really tell which way the grain was going with this time. So I did it in the very end, and so you can see the grain going this way. So that tells me I want to cut it this way. So I'm just going to set that piece off to the side, and we're just going to slice this. And we want to make about, 1/4-inch slices. So we're slicing this up. Oh, this is going to be so delicious. We're going to warm this back up with the potatoes. We're going to arrange this back in here. We're going to finish peeling the potatoes. We're going to put them alongside all the way around it. So it's going to be just beautiful. And that's after I've skimmed the fat out of this. So the majority of the fat is out. This is going to be just a rich, beautiful, delicious gravy on top of it. Oh, cannot wait. So stay tuned with us. We'll see you back. Okay, everybody, we're back. And I'm preheating my oven to 425. I've peeled my potatoes and added them. We're going to put this back in the oven. We're going to put it in at 425 for about an hour. And we're going to be checking it about every 20 minutes roughly after the first 20 minutes. Okay, so we're going to wait about 40 minutes. Then we're going to check it. And then about every 10 to 20 minutes after that, we're going to kind of give it a little peek. But this is going to cook about an hour or two, possibly up to an hour and a half. We want to make sure everything's nice and tender and cooked through. So when this is all done, we'll be back and be able to look at it, and then we'll plate it, and I get to eat it. Sorry you're not here. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Oh, look how beautiful this is coming out. Oh, it's just looking gorgeous. So we're going to let this cook for a little bit longer, and I'm going to close this back up. Anyway, we're going to let this cook for a little bit longer. And remember, 425 for just an hour. We've got about 6 minutes left, and we're gonna let this rest, and this is gonna be delicious. Whoa, is this ever looking good? So we're gonna take this out now. You can see what it's looking like right now, And we're going to let this rest. We're going to let this rest about 15 minutes, and then we're going to be plating it and serving it. Oh, just, if you could smell this, just amazing. So, be back shortly. Okay, we've taken it out, folks. We've plated it. We're going to add some salt. So we got some ground sea salt, some fresh cracked pepper, and there we go. Doesn't that look delicious? So, there's our brisket. This is a really, really tasty, delicious meal. Not super expensive to make. Feeds an awful lot of people, and I'm creating a lot of leftovers if that's what you like also. So, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. I think we're going to do a smoked brisket. So we're going to do like a southern style smoked brisket next time around. So, thanks for watching. See you next time.